welcome back. I'm Tieast, and we are here tonight at the Aurora Italiana restaurant. I have the pleasure of spending time with Stacie Zotkovich, and we are here talking to women in the West Bloomfield area. We are right at the precipice of International Women's Day and looking forward to some exciting conversations. So I am really excited. And in your own words, Stacey, just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do. We just love to learn a little bit more about you.
Thank you for having me. So I'd like to say I'm a jack of all trades, master of many. Some people can only focus on one thing, and as my husband will say, I do a multitude of things in life because I never miss an opportunity. And from the moment he met me, that's what I've always said. So I do everything from taking care of seniors, citizens, and doing some placements, to the medical field, being on the board of healthcare systems, to starting a senior life advisor council group. I mean, you know, being a mom, being active within the community, and just being a face where people feel comfortable, and, you know, kind of being a problem solver. So, I mean, there's a lot. Oh, and I'm an author. Yes, I have a best-selling book about positivity and keeping people on their toes and just seeing life maybe a little bit differently.
No, that's great. You know, and I love to meet women who are doing a lot. And I'm always, you know, enthralled by hearing that. But the question on my mind is, you know, how do you manage it all? And I definitely want to get to that. But before we get to that, I want to make sure that we know the name of your book.
Okay.
And how we can get it. So I don't want us to forget or leave this conversation without you sharing that at some point.
Thank you, I will.
But let's go back. So you are working with seniors, you're working with young people, you're working with your own family and your day-to-day. Give us some things that you do to keep it all in line, to manage it all, and to make sure that you're not only doing what you need to do for the external tasks that you have, but also for yourself.
I think the key to every day is when you wake up, you set the tone for how you want to have your morning, your afternoon, and your whole day. So I get up early. I've restructured my day. I get up early and it's my time. So I work out in the morning. I have a walking group, which is amazing accountability, so I can't miss.
Yes.
And we go and we walk at least 3 to 4 miles in the morning, and then I come back, get ready, and then I kind of just figure out what I'm going to do for the day. What are my plans? How am I going to accomplish? Set up an A list, a B list, and no matter what, as much as I don't want to do my A list, that has to be done first. Because those are the things that I don't want to do.
The priorities, yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you have to think, okay, I made it through half my day, and this is the second part of my day. This is how I'm going to accomplish everything I need to. And sometimes if you need to just all of a sudden put on some good music, like I did today, you know, I was like, oh, I need a moment. I put on something positive, something motivational, and I kind of got in the groove. And if you just move around a little bit, it's amazing what you can do for yourself. And setting your goals. But if you don't have goals set for the day, then how are you going to accomplish something?
For sure.
And the first thing I'm going to tell you is get up, make your bed. So no matter what, you know that you've accomplished something positive. I think that's a key. And then, you know, when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, tell yourself you love yourself. We don't do enough self-talk. Have a sticky note on the mirror and tell yourself how wonderful you are.
For sure.
And start your day that way. And I think that that's a key to success in every day.
I think that's something a lot of women don't do. I think we get so bogged down with the daily task and the things we're trying to accomplish that we don't take the time to really respect and give ourselves grace.
We don't.
And to do things, to tell yourself, you know, you're enough.
Right.
You're a great person. You're doing what you need to do. You're giving back in the ways that you can. Some people can give small, some people can give big.
Right.
It's not going to be the same for everyone.
And when is the last time that you actually looked in the mirror and said, I love you? I love you to
I
yourself.
have not done that.
Exactly. And when is the last time that you looked in the mirror so you can connect with yourself and say, I am awesome. Like, look at all the things I accomplished.
Yes.
We don't give ourselves enough credit.
We don't.
And I know that you don't, as being a mom too.
I don't. I don't. And we were just talking about that, just motherhood in general. I know a lot of people who will see this are moms, some are not.
Right.
Some are surrogate moms, whether they're a big sister, an aunt, whatever the case may be, but they're serving that role in someone's life. So what are some things that motherhood has taught you that you use more broadly in other areas of your life?
A lot. You know, I very much used to be a perfectionist.
Yeah.
It was, this is the way it's done, and this is how we have to do it, and you know, you have hard lessons to learn, but what I have learned is I'm a mom who's learning how to be a mom. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. Admitting when you did something like, hey, you know, I kind of raised my voice. I'm really sorry. I overreacted. I should have just taken it all in, and I'm sorry. And I think that is so important to your children and to yourself, and to say, you know what, let's do this together, and make them part of what you're doing, and also let them have decisions. And as much as sometimes I'm like, don't talk back to me. Yes, right, don't talk to me. But I also don't want them to lose their identity in being told what to do.
That's great advice.
I want them to have a voice, to have an opinion, and also stand up for themselves. And if I sit there and say, don't talk to me that way, which, you know, I do say, I am still your mom, you will respect me, let's figure this out.
However, I want to hear from you.
Right, and I do tell my daughter and my son, I'm like, don't ever lose what you have, because I love that about you. You're being funny, or you're being debatable.
That's sound advice.
And I think that's important, is just to listen. Don't have an opinion, and don't knock them, and say, let's learn this together, and let them know that it's okay to make mistakes, but it's how you grow from there, and how you take care of that situation or that problem. You know, we've all been there. We've all been there.
And it's interesting because parenting now, like, we notice that it's so different. Their experience as kids now is so different than ours was at their same age. So I'm learning from my kids all the time. I'm like, my goodness, I don't know if I could be your age now. I don't know how you guys do it. So kudos to our kids, and I appreciate your advice and how you approach parenting.
Thank you.
But let's look at the other end of the coin, because you said something earlier as we were talking that's also very near and dear to my heart, and that's helping and supporting seniors.
Yes.
My grandmother on April 4th of 2025 will be 101 years old.
She's doing something.
Yes, we celebrated her 100th last year, and it was a blast. It was great. So seniors are very, very special to me. I think there's so much to be learned from them. Can you share a little bit more about some of the things that you do for senior citizens and some of the things that you've learned from that community?
Absolutely. Listen, seniors feel, you know, they've been active their whole life. They've been able to do things on their own, and all of a sudden, you know, as we age, our bodies ache, things happen, they can't do and have the mobility as they used to. Don't ever take that away from them. And just because you're busy doesn't mean that you don't have time for your parents. You are busy, that is just an excuse. We are all busy. But you know what, at the end of the day, it's about family, it is about taking time, and this is all lessons I had to learn, because
absolutely,
I was out there working, and you know, at some points I made that more of a priority, but I learned from that. And so as far as seniors go, is listen to them, take time for them. And so one of the groups that I created, we go to senior, I guess, I want to say senior living places, community centers, things like that, and we talk to them about education. It's all the things that they didn't need that they know that they needed to know, and that is huge, because I don't want anyone to be taken advantage of. And you know, we've got everyone from like powers of attorneys there. What about wills and trust? You know, what do you want to do when you want to sell your home? To everything from, I have a lot of stuff, how am I going to take all of this stuff, to downsizing, to senior placement, to home health and hospice. I mean, it's a whole array, and getting them to be able to understand and have a voice. Don't ever take that away from them, just like you don't want your voice taken away.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a key, and you know, and just being a good leader to try and help them be still independent. Who wants to lose their independence?
And navigating this world is, it's, as we mentioned with our kids, it's vastly different from for them as well. I know at one point there was a scammer like messing with my grandma, and so we had to have a whole conversation, much with the, you know, in line with the training that you do for seniors, to be aware of that and to understand how things are different and how to be protected.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to know, as I read your bio, I was excited to ask you this question. So a former Mrs. Michigan.
Yes.
Tell me about that. What was that like? What was your journey to prepare for that, and how it felt the moment you won? I want to hear it all.
It's exciting. So I started my pageantry when I was younger, and I was actually a Miss Michigan.
Oh.
And so here's the thing about doing pageants. People think, oh, it has to be about beauty, and but it's not. It's about going in and doing interviews. Because I did them when I was younger, I was able to go into interviews as a younger adult, being able to ask and answer questions and have a great conversation and to have a dialogue. And then I will also, when I was interviewing as an adult, again, it's just the interviewing skills, but it was not always about just me. It was about having a voice, advocacy, learning about other people, let them know that you can do anything you want. You are your own person. That will stop you from doing whatever you want.
Right.
I was a school teacher before. I didn't have the career, the credentials, but I put it out there, and I was a school teacher for a couple of years.
So important.
And I think whatever you want to do, put your mind to it, and just do pageantries because of helping other people.
Yes.
Honestly. And it led to being a Mrs. It also helps keep me in fit, because I'm like, I'm gonna have to get up there. And it just kind of keeps you motivated and have a voice and determination, and really allowing me not to care what other people think, because people have an opinion about everything. And you will have your haters because you're positive and you're happy.
Yeah.
And then you'll have people that want to pull you down. And at the end of the day, what makes you happy, what feeds your soul. And I don't know, I like the limelight. I do, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not for everybody.
Right.
But I love bringing joy and happiness into people's life. I love making people identify and feel that, wow, I could do that, or, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I had that in me.
Right, and you're using the limelight not for you, but for good.
Right.
And I think that's a different approach that people don't often expect or hear about. So kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you.
So I got one more question for you. You have so many things that you're doing, so many areas in the community that you're touching, in addition to your own home and your responsibilities as a mom and everything else. What do you see as what's next for you? What are you going to go off and do in the future? What is your next moment of greatness?
Girlfriend, that is a loaded question.
I know.
Because I never know what opportunities are going to be brought to me.
Right.
And everyone's like, well, you've done this, and you've done this, and you've done this, and you've done that. And I said, isn't that great? I am not afraid to try new things. And whatever path that I go into, I'm using the experience that I had before and bringing it into this experience now. If something only lasts 2 years, that's okay.
Yeah.
And if I get led into another opportunity or path, that will be it. I do have something in my pocket that I'm thinking I might do.
Okay.
And
Stay tuned.
Yes. I keep saying only I can be the change, only I can make the change. And there's a lot of things that's going around in this country that I'm like, how can I change this? How can I make things better? Or how can I be an advocate for everybody who wants to have a voice? And so there might be something in an arena of who knows?
Right.
But I just still
want
to.
You're open.
Yes, I'm open. But at the end of the day, I still want to do motivational speaking and get people to think about life, to be their best, to take them out of their shell, and to not stop thinking and caring what other people think and say.
And be.
Because that will destroy
yourself.
you. That will destroy you first-handedly, and to empower and don't be afraid. And number one is confidence. Confidence will take you anywhere. And to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you.
Well, thank you, Stacey. So really quick as we close, please, one more time, tell us how people can get in touch with you and also the name of your book.
Yes.
In case they want to get one from you.
Yes, I have the book called Positive Shift Ahead, 16 Ways to Redirect Negative Thoughts Quickly, which you can get on Amazon.
Great.
I did it, it's a very easy airplane read, and I did that specifically so people could just go as a quick reference and also be motivating to them. I also have a children's book called I Have a Choice.
Great.
And it's about being a leader, and just because you're best friends with someone doesn't mean that you have to do what they do, and to try and teach them at a young age to be an advocate for themselves and to be like, you know what, I matter, I am something.
That is
and
great.
And then I do have a website, Positive Shift Ahead, that they can go ahead and look on, and of course you can always just find me and call me.
Wonderful. Well, let's conclude with a cheers.
I would love that.
Cheers to you,
Cheers.
Stacey. It was a pleasure talking to you. I look forward to the next time we can sit down again, have
Thank
a
you
glass
so
of
much.
wine, and talk more.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stacey.